Hello, my lovelies. Thank you for joining me. I'm Eileen, the Mellow Astrologer. And today we are going to talk about the Venus-Mars conjunction in the sign of Leo. So what is a conjunction? It's when two planets in the sky are right next to each other. They're in the exact same location in the heavens, as close as they can be, right? So when Venus and Mars come together, this happens, it happens at intervals, usually about every 2 years, but it depends on the orbits and the retrograde motions of the planets. And so sometimes it does happen at shorter intervals than the 2 years. But the last time this happened, you can take a moment to pause and reflect when the video is over on what was happening in your life the last time Venus and Mars met. And the reason I suggest this is that they are the cosmic lovers. And so when they come together, it tends to be a more passionate, romantic, creative period of our lives, and it lasts for only a few weeks. So the last time this happened was in August of 2019. So you can reflect then on what was going on in your life at that moment. So Venus and Mars have actually been in orbit to one another in the sign of Leo beginning June 26th, and this ends on July 21st. I created this amazing tool for you to use that has all the most important dates of the year, and you can download it and you can use the link in the download to add all of these dates directly to your digital calendar so you don't have to remember. I made it super easy for you. And on the back side, there's a bunch of tips too for how to navigate each one of these different celestial events that I've outlined, the planetary transits. So when Venus and Mars meet in Leo, it's extra potent because Leo is the sign of creativity and romance. So Venus is all about relationships and money, our relationship to ourselves, our relationships to others, and money because Venus is representative of our values and how we spend our money and how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, who we choose to spend time with is representative of our values, right? If you've watched my other videos, I talk about this a bit, where you can determine what your values are based on how and where you spend your time and your money, or with whom you spend your time and your money, right? Of course, there's other ways of reflecting on your value system as well. Mars is the sexual impulse. It's the representative of masculine energy in the way that Venus is representative of the feminine energy. And Mars is very much about it, very action oriented. And so it's about how we take initiation in life. I say that Mars is the fire in our belly that helps us get up and going on any given day. And it's the energy that assists us in starting new projects. Okay, so when Mars and Venus are in the sign of passionate, loyal, creative Leo, you can imagine that there's more romance and playfulness happening, okay? And I hope that you have experienced, like I said, both Venus and Mars have been in the sign of Leo since the end of June. So I hope that the last few weeks you have actually experienced that. Now, the exact conjunction, when they come together in the heavens and meet, that happens tomorrow, which is Tuesday, July 13th. So depending on when you're watching this, Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. And then they will stay in orbit in the sign of Venus until July 21st. So we still get a whole nother week of this super juicy energy. Now, it's very fertile energy, and we can talk about the rather mundane ways in which we will experience this energy. And I already mentioned many of the themes. So you could experience an increase in romance or playfulness or even just social activity generally. You could be doing more dramatic activities or finding that your creative impulse is stimulated more. But I want to, as always, talk about the spiritual side of these transits and take it to a more transcendent level here. So I have been following, just a quick story for you, okay? I am studying A Course in Miracles right now with Marianne Williamson. For those of you who are familiar with me, I do have multiple degrees in religion, and I have studied various mystical or religious traditions from around the world, including everything from like the I Ching to the chakra system, you name it. I've probably dabbled with it a little bit. So my newest thing that I'm studying is the Course in Miracles, and every day there is a new lesson. And today's lesson, I sometimes look ahead to see what the lesson will be, and the lesson for today was, I place the future in the hands of God. Okay, if you don't like the word God, substitute it with whatever, the universe, spirit, it doesn't really matter. I place the future in the hands of God. And this really stimulated for me some strong, like, potent, oh my goodness, this is so the Mars and Venus in Leo taken to the next level. Because if you place the future in the hands of God, like, let's think about what this means. Most of us are so, and bear with me as we talk through this, okay? Most of us have a real need, a fear, a desire, etc., to control, okay? Whether or not we recognize it as such, that impulse is there working on us at all times. So most of us will experience some sort of fear or anxiety or worry or concern about the future, right? When we think about the future, we often, or we can be overwhelmed by thoughts and feelings that are not so positive, right? If we're in a great period of our lives, maybe that's different. But generally, especially in a time like 2021 where we're coming out of COVID, I think that's really true, that a lot of people are feeling very unstable and frankly just fearful about the future for themselves, the future for their children, their grandchildren, the future for their finances, etc. So when we think about those of us who have a spiritual practice, when we think about what does it mean to place the future in the hands of God, that means that we are relinquishing control. Okay, we are placing our future in the hands of the divine. And the reason I associate this with Leo energy is because Leo is the heart, and following the heart, love and creativity, the creative impulse, following the creative impulse that comes from source, hits our heart, and wants to be made manifest in the material world. Okay, so this is a moment where we can be liberated from needing to always be controlling what comes next in our lives. So in the same way, this is what Marianne Williamson said. I'm going to read this so I don't botch it because I thought it was just so beautifully stated. She said, in the same way that the acorn is programmed to become an oak tree, the embryo is programmed to become a child, and the bud is programmed to become a blossom, so too are we programmed to become the highest, most loving expression of our own creative impulses. That is Leo. That is the heart right there. Leo is the sign for the sun, and we each have a sun in our horoscope, right? Even if you're not a Leo, this doesn't matter because we all have Leo energy in our chart, and we all have the sun in our chart, okay? And the sun is it's masculine energy, but it's the life giver of the universe, right? Of our universe, planet Earth. And at a more minute level, like of our own individual universes, so to speak. So again, I place the future in the hands of God, trusting that God is guiding you, that the divine source, whatever you want to call it, is guiding you to express your highest potential, the most creative element of who you are as a human, and that we are being given constantly everything we need to express our creativity, and that it is our fear, our ego, our worry, our concern that is actually getting in the way of God guiding us. Okay? So yes, you're going to experience more romance and playfulness and creativity and all of these wonderful Leonian archetypes throughout the next week and throughout the entire month. That's wonderful. But if you have a spiritual practice, then I would very much like for you to consider lesson 194 in the Course of Miracles. I place the future in the hands of God. What does that mean for you? Where are you refusing to relinquish control? Carolyn Mace, a spiritual teacher who I love, I was listening to some video of hers years and years ago, and I'll never forget this. She's very, she's hardcore. And she said, who are you to doubt the will of God? Who are you to question the will of God? So where are you questioning the will of God? And where are you saying, I know better. I'm going to go control this situation. This situation isn't going in the way that I want. I know how it should be going, and I'm going to take action to make sure that it goes the way that I want. That's a joke, right? And we're all doing this in our various ways. Some of us do it more often. Some of us do it unconsciously. Most of us are doing it unconsciously, but some of us are doing it more frequently unconsciously than others of us. And why are we doing it? That's the more important question. Why are we trying to control? What do we actually believe that we can do that the universe isn't already doing for us? And when we stop, when we relinquish that control and we sit quietly and we listen to what our heart has to say, then true love can actually pass through us. Then the divine can speak to us and we can be a clear channel for that creative spark. And then we're able to creatively self-actualize ourselves, right? Okay. I love you all. Enjoy this Venus-Mars conjunction. It's such beautiful energy. I have just been loving it. It's been a breath of fresh air after the frenetic, crazy-making energy of June, which was also delightful in its ways, but rather destabilizing in other ways. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Please hit the like button. As always, if you have questions or comments, please leave them below. I love hearing from you. And enjoy your day. Ciao, ciao. Thank you.